It hasn't even been a month. Has it been a month? How long have I had this car? Maybe it has been a month. The point of the matter is, it hasn't even been long of me having this car, and it's already damaged. Yep. Man, I tell you, you can't have nice things anymore. You just can't. With talking about what's happened to this car brings up a topic that I'm going to further go into in this video that just really
grinds my gears.
But first of all, let me go over all of the things that's wrong with this car. Now, I have corrected some of it. It's time consuming and I haven't corrected all of it, but let me go over what's going on. So for the most part, mechanically, nothing wrong. It's just a Hyundai. It does Hyundai things, I guess. I don't know. But it still runs, drives, and does everything I need to do. It's been damaged. It don't look like it. You're like, man, what the hell are you talking about? And albeit these are minor things, the point aside, it's still damage that happened to the car that wasn't my fault. That's kind of the whole point of this. First of all, not long after I bought the car, I think a week after I bought it, or days even, was it this mirror? Or is it the passenger side? Oh, yeah, it's over here. Look at that. Look at that. Some vehicle with white paint, it looks like, got really close and just scraped the mirror. So that was like 1 week after I bought the car. And no, that was not there when I bought it. I went over this car with a fine-tooth comb, and this was one of those dealerships that, goes through great lengths reconditioning their cars and then charging you an ass ton for that reconditioning. So for the most part, the car looked really, really good when I bought it. And that definitely wasn't there. So 1 week into it in the car, scuff on the mirror. And then probably week two, where is it? I think it's on this side of the bumper. Down, oh, here it is, right there. Week 2, here's this, and I don't know what that's from, but that's, you hear it? My nail's catching on that. That is pretty deep. I think this was something from a shopping cart. Gotta love it. I park away from everyone, but yet somehow people find a way to come damage my stuff. So that was week 2 that happened, and I have yet to come around and try to polish any of this out. I did, however, polish a huge scratch on this side of the car that actually went down the whole length of the car, but thankfully it wasn't deep, and I was able to get it out. In fact, because I've been in need, well, I guess no one really needs it, but I've been really wanting a polisher because I haven't had one in a while. I ended up picking myself up this, from Harbor Freight. This is the Bauer, what the hell is this? This is like the better one they have. They have a cheaper polisher, but this is a long throw random orbital polisher. It's more what I'm used to. The other one they have, the cheaper one, it's like $60. Kinda didn't feel right in my hands. It was like 20 some more dollars. It was like $70 or $80 for that one. I think it's well worth the money. It is a great machine. A bit noisy, but it did the job. Because you can't even tell that there was a scratch. It literally started from here, and yeah, it was about right here, all the way down. It went all the way down the side of the car, through the quarter, everywhere. It was the whole length of the car. You're asking yourself, how in the hell did that happen? Well, being in the more country parts of Florida, it's not super country, but it's country enough, and there are definitely some back roads that I like to take because I try to stay away from people. Well, as more and more people move into this area of Florida, these back roads are having a hard time compensating for the volume of traffic that's now flowing through these roads. Well, I'm going down this back road, okay? So you gotta remember, it's just kind of like how it is up there, where you have trees really close on both sides, but it is a 2-lane road technically, but it's like an old school 2-lane road. There's not even a dividing line in the middle. One car just gotta stick to one side, the other gotta stick to the other. And that was the problem, because here I am coming down this road. It narrows down a little bit to the section where I got to, and then you got trees on both sides. Well, on the other side, coming towards me, was this big, dumb truck. Big wheels lifted out the side, some landscaper. I mean, First of all, why do landscapers or anyone who does that kind of work, why can't they just leave the trucks alone? Why do they have to put them big, dumb, wide offset wheels on their trucks? Oh, I can't be a real landscaper and look like this. I can't drive a normal truck. Like, it's just so ridiculous. But anyway, big dumb truck come barreling down the road, coming towards me. He was also towing a gooseneck trailer. It was like a dump trailer. And I mean, he was hauling ass. Didn't even slow down. I'm already in the section of the road that narrows down. There's not much I can do. This idiot did not try to slow down at all. So he comes barreling down the road towards me, and I had no choice. I just had to get the car over as much as possible so this idiot wasn't going to take off the whole side of the car and cause a collision. And unfortunately, because I had to move over so far to the right of the road, my tires are pretty much hanging off the pavement. Because I was so close to all the trees and stuff that were on that road, I guess a branch or something that was sticking out, I mean, it just came all the way down and grabbed this whole side of the car. So that's a bit disappointing, but thankfully, like I said, I was able to get it out with that polisher. So what makes the story even more interesting is 3 days after this truck did this, I was driving in the same area where this happened to me, and I noticed that this same truck was involved in a 3-car accident. Looks like the front end of the truck got goofed up pretty good, and well, I haven't seen this idiot on the road since. I guess that's karma, so you know, it is what it is. Last week, was that week 3 or was that week 2? I don't know, it's like every week something else happens. I'm driving down the road, you know, nothing special, and it was almost like slow motion. You know, I'm sitting here in the seat looking down the road, and I have a pretty good distance between me and the car in front of me. You know, probably 2.5 car lengths or even more. And we were only going about 45 miles per hour. So I'm sitting here, you know, minding my own business, and all of a sudden I see from the car in front of me, it was a minivan, big rock. It was like that big. The thing was the size of a quarter, just come up under their tire, and it's like a softball being pitched to you. I watched it come towards me. It was crazy. It was like slow motion. Of course, it comes up, gets kicked up, and goes boom, hits the windshield. And where is it? I still have to fix this before it gets too bad. Hold on. There it is. Right there. Put a nice nick in the windshield. So I gotta get that epoxied ASAP so that doesn't spread. But it's like, you gotta be kidding me. You have to be kidding me. Week 3. And that's already been damaged. And if all of that wasn't enough, the cherry on the sundae happened yesterday, which was a Saturday. I'm driving down the road, right? I'm in a line of traffic, and some idiot in a group of cars in front of me decided they wanted to have a bunch of crap in the back of their vehicle. I think it was a small little pickup truck, and not have the tailgate up, not have it secured down. So they had a bunch of plastic bins that were in the vehicle. Well, guess what? Hit a bump, all the bins fell out onto the road. Cars scattered everywhere. And to avoid a collision, there's not much I could have done. And all I could do was just try to slow down. I tried to avoid one of the bins as best as I could without going into the other lane and causing a collision. But there's only so much I could have done. And then, of course, I clipped one of those bins with the corner of the bumper here. It's not severe, but it is damaged nonetheless. Where is it? Let's see. Right there. That is actually like creased. The plastic is actually creased right here. I don't even know how well it shows up. And of course there's a deep scratch right here. There's a nick right here. And actually this is the first time really getting down and looking. The paint chips there. Let's see if any of this plastic here got it good. No, most of this looks fine. Oh, no, that's a scratch or like a really good nick there. Just kind of have to like go over it with my finger because some of this is just bug guts. Other than the scuffs here and that dent there, really don't look too bad, but still. The fact of the matter is, 4 weeks ago, none of this was here. This is literally just from driving and using the vehicle as intended, as a car. But as you can see, no matter what, stuff happens. Yeah, it bugs me. I take a lot of pride in ownership of not just my vehicles, but hell, this isn't even my house, and I do a lot to make sure that I maintain, because that's how I am. When this is my stuff, I work hard for it. I put a lot of time into it. I'm gonna make sure it looks good. So when stuff like this happens, especially when it happens out of my control and due to the negligence of another person, it's very upsetting. The part that really grinds my gears about this whole thing is that no matter what vehicle I've owned quite a few vehicles. In fact, I've had so many cars on this channel, and it's because of this YouTube channel I've had so many cars. Otherwise, I don't know if I would have cycled through so many of them. Because I had so many cars on the channel, I've had a lot of different cars to take care of and maintain over the years. A lot of those cars, unfortunately, also had a lot of things happen to them that were out of my control. Could some of what had happened to those vehicles been prevented? Yes, absolutely. Some of the stuff that happened, I could not have changed. Looking back on it, it all was a learning experience. So I don't do it again. When I had the fire that took out the Cobra and the Blue Fox body, it was completely out of my control. A lot of people blamed me. They're like, oh, you did that on purpose. Oh, that's insurance fraud. No, trust me, it was not. That Cobra is still my favorite car to this day. Was it the fastest? No. Was it the favorite car I've ever had? Yes. Favorite car to this day I've ever had. I had no intention of getting rid of that car at all. None. That was a next level car for me. I put so much pride into making that car. I really wanted it to be something unique and special, and it's really tough when people say that crap and they have no clue. They're just yapping off on the internet, because I put it out there. Unfortunately, I sometimes feel like I shouldn't put half of what I put on the internet, but I am a very transparent person. I'm not one of those content creators that hides everything and makes life look grand. I put the good and the bad, because I think it's just a much better way of doing it, because life ain't perfect and you're going to have the good and the bad. Because I do that and I expose the bad, which happens a lot, people think that I don't take care of my stuff, that I'm purposely ruining my cars for the sake of YouTube, and that really is not the case at all, and it's really annoying. Yeah, I'm offended by that, absolutely. Like I said, I take huge pride in ownership of my stuff. Do I sometimes do things that are risky? Yes, I assume those risks for the most part. As we see here with this new car, it's already got problems that were not caused by me and could not have been avoided, because it's life, man. And it happened with every one of my cars. I know the biggest one that a lot of people blame me for is the Mustang Buster. A lot of people think that car would have never have had any of the issues had I not been the owner. Man, that really gets under my skin. And while some things I did to that car for the sake of content was risky, I obviously don't do those videos without a risk assessment and thinking about whether it's really going to do something or not. I did a lot of research before I dumped a gallon of Lucas fuel treatment in the gas tank to make sure that didn't work. Hell, I even made a follow-up video inspecting the gas tank and the O2 sensor, and none of it was ever damaged. Even the catalytic converter was never damaged by that video. All that video did was create a bunch of views, create a bunch of revenue for my channel, and consequently created a bunch of idiots commenting. And a lot of people see that video, especially people who just now follow me. They look back on that video and are like, oh, this guy's an idiot. Yeah, that was the whole purpose of that video, to look like an idiot. That's what makes it entertaining. So while there were certain incidences with that car that, yes, I took risks in order to make content, no risk, no reward, looking back on it, I am glad I made that Lucas video, because my channel would never be where it's at if it wasn't for that video. With that said, it still bugs me that people think the outcome of that car would have been completely different had it not been for my ownership of it. And that bugs me. That really does. Because I did not want to have to go through all of what I went through with that car. That car, yeah, while in the end it ended up helping my channel make a lot of money, it took more away from me than I got out of it. The Fiero was a dream car for me, not to own a Fiero, though I've always wanted one. The car itself wasn't the dream. The purpose of the car was the dream. That was my ticket into racing. I wanted to get into drag racing. That was the car I was gonna do it in. You think that was my plan? I would have never, ever had sold that car. In fact, the year Buster blew up, the end of that year, it was probably the next month. It was the next month, because I think it was the end of end of June that the engine blew on Buster. And it was that August I was looking to have the Fiero shipped down so I could start working on it again. It just so happened that wasn't the plan. I had to sell that car in order to fund the new engine for Buster. You think I planned that? You think I wanted that to happen? No. I had to make the most logical decisions and choices based on the situation that I could. And that, unfortunately, is what I had to do. I had to give up my dream of racing to fix that car. That car was never supposed to be what it was, and before it blew up, that's all I wanted. I just wanted something that had enough power to be fun. Why it blew up, I don't know. Man, I really don't. It's still a mystery today. I still have all the engine parts to look back on and try to figure out. It doesn't make sense considering it was running fine until the one moment it wasn't. And yeah, to those who say I purposely destroy my vehicles, man, you obviously do not live in the reality I live in. Stuff happens. And it may be because I have bad luck. Maybe I do have crap luck, especially when it comes to cars. But the fact of the matter is, in reality and cars, stuff happens all the time. Some of it you can control, a lot of it you can't. And that is it. I'm going to do my best to take care of the little bit of damage that's occurred with this car. A lot of it I'll be able to reverse, thankfully. What's to say some irresponsible driver just happens to pull out in front of me and totals the whole car. Could have been the same with Buster. It could have been any of the vehicles. Is it my fault that happened? No. Could I have avoided that? Probably not. Some things are in our control, a lot isn't. It really sucks to hear people say that, like, oh yeah, everything we do, we have a choice in. Like, no, stuff happens and we don't have a choice. We just have to deal with the aftermath of the situation. The only car that I feel like I will take 100% blame for was the SHO. And the reason I say that is because I should have not jumped into that level of a car without learning the pros and cons of that type of car. Thankfully, had it not been for that third-party warranty, I would have been SOL way sooner than I thought with that car, because I did have the transmission rebuilt under warranty, had the transfer case replaced under warranty, and it had cam phaser issues that I was trying to get replaced under warranty, but they kind of talked me out of it because they were going to make me jump through a lot of hoops proving that the oil changes weren't neglected. And I bought the car at 67,000 miles. I don't know what the hell happened to the car before then. But the reason why I blame myself is I tuned the car. I was running it pretty hard and it had over 100,000 miles. Stuff started breaking left and right. And then what really was the nail in the coffin was when the number 6 fuel injector failed. It stuck open, dumped a bunch of fuel into the cylinder, washed the number 6 cylinder out. I don't know if the engine could have been easily fixed or not, but either way, I was looking at a pretty expensive repair. Looking back on it, I know better now not to tune a high mileage direct injected vehicle on ethanol. It was an E30 blend tune, which I guarantee you, to make it work, they probably have the injectors open all the time. I mean, they're just constantly open, and because they're constantly open, the solenoid itself, the element, probably gets burnt out and stays open. The tuner didn't disclose that with me, and I didn't know better. And I know better now, but I didn't know better then. And yeah, I take full responsibility for that one. The risk of messing with the car and then something happening. But everything else was really unfortunate luck, I guess. And just things that were out of my control in the end, because I had no intention on Buster blowing up the way it did. I had no intention of selling a car to replace the engine in that. I had no intention of that car going through half the problems it did. In fact, once I got it back together, I had no intentions of getting rid of it, because I'm like, well, damn, I'm so far invested in this, I might as well keep it. And then more stuff kept breaking, and it didn't make sense. You know how that story went. But otherwise, yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up here for the video. Hopefully I can get more out of this car before someone decides to just completely annihilate this thing. People are just nuts. They don't care about your stuff. They don't care what you think, what you feel, whatever. They do whatever they do despite the potential negative effects of the people around them, and it sucks. But I think it's gonna wrap it up here for the video. Until the next one, if you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with everyone you know. If you want to see more content like this and you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Keep a lookout for the next Karz Created video.